Fans are finally coming back. Tonight at the Staples Center, thousands will cheer on the Lakers amid strict COVID guidelines.
Local stores and restaurants are thrilled to see fans return. We'll see how businesses are gearing up for games.
USC's Spring Showcase will be open this weekend to thousands of football fans excited to return to the LA Coliseum. See It Live is next.
We're excited for the fans coming back. We're excited for the city opening up. And hopefully this is the beginning of a new norm that is even better than what it was before.
As vaccine eligibility expands, California sporting venues are opening up to fans. Good evening, I'm Taylor Milliner reporting from Los Angeles.
And I'm Liza Montesabian, also reporting from Los Angeles. For the first time in more than a year, the Lakers will play in front of fans tonight at the Staples Center. Reporter Jillian Carroll has more on the story.
The Lakers are welcoming fans back to Staples Center for the first time in over a year as they host the Boston Celtics tonight. It's their first time playing at home with fans since California and LA County eased COVID-19 restrictions for indoor events. Fans who have the golden ticket tonight are special. Normally 19,000 fans pack the arena for Lakers games. Tonight, there will be 17,000 fewer. There are other differences. It's empty outside the Staples Center, where usually you would see lots of vendors and activity. The Lakers have not played a home game with fans since spring of 2020. Even with artificial fan noise, cardboard cutouts, and fans on video, the atmosphere didn't feel the same. The return of 2,000 people in the arena tonight is a big deal for Lakers fans and a big step forward for in-person attendance at sporting events.
I knew I was going to go to the first game back at Staples Center. It just happened to be against Boston. And I knew I had to be there.
I was hoping to go. I'm a Boston Celtics fan because I grew up in Massachusetts. With the rules, they're only allowing locals in the stadium. So it's a shame for me. Like with the NHL and the NBA, we're getting into playoff season. And that's really when fans have the most impact, I feel. And so it's great for those sports to see some normalcy come back.
Even with limited attendance, Staples Center will impose strict safety guidelines. Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test will be required upon entry. All concession stands will be cashless, and there will be designated areas for fans to eat and drink. No bag of any size will be allowed inside the arena, and all fans age 2 and older will be required to wear face coverings. Fans are excited for the opportunity to attend live basketball games, even if some may have to wait for their in-person experience. It is an exciting time in the sports world as restrictions are lifted and more fans can enjoy the opportunity to see their favorite teams in action.
Right. I know I am. I don't even have a favorite team and I'm super excited about it.
And it just feels really good to see people back outside, back being able to be in indoor spaces and things that they haven't been able to do since the pandemic.
Exactly.
And what's also really cool is that the fans aren't the only ones benefiting from the reopening of Staples Center.
That's right, Jillian. The businesses around Staples Center are relieved to finally get some traffic in their stores and restaurants.
It's absolutely huge for us. It's actually been very challenging as we opened the business about 6 months ago, surviving to get to this point. We've been looking forward to this day for a long time. Having fans in the stands means having fans in the store for us, and it's crucial for us to be able to not only pay rent, but we'll be able to pay our employees and thrive as a business. So we're excited for the fans coming back. We're excited for the city opening up, and hopefully this is the beginning of a new norm that is even better than what it was before.
Businesses located around Staples Center and LA Live have been struggling during the pandemic without the crowds at performances and sporting events. So the return of fans, even in relatively small numbers, can help these businesses come alive again.
LA Dodgers fans are excited to welcome home their reigning World Series champions. Tonight's game is the 4th home game at Dodger Stadium with fans. The Dodgers' home opener was last Friday and kicked off a 3-game sweep of the Washington Nationals. That game was the first time fans were allowed in the stands of Dodger Stadium. Fans say watching a game in person never gets old.
The energy in the stadium was crazy. It's louder than it has ever been before, which has been really fun. And I grew up in LA and I've gone to so many Dodger games, but being back there was truly unlike any experience I've had.
I'm actually going to the game tonight. I'm also going to 2 different games in May. I'm so excited just to be back at the stadium after COVID when nobody was allowed to go. It was just kind of like dead, and it wasn't like the roar of the crowd and the excitement. Like we didn't really have that community feel to the stadiums. So I'm super excited just to be around fellow Dodger fans, the food, and just being able to watch them in person again is just going to be an experience like no other.
Fans planning to attend tonight's game will have to follow safety protocols. Masks will be required for everyone 2 years and older. You can sit with your group, but social distancing will still be in place. Plastic dividers have been put up around Dodger gear and concession stands to make sure fans stay safe, even when buying a beer and a hot dog.
The Trojans will play their annual Spring Showcase game this Saturday with fans in attendance. The Coliseum will be open to players' parents, some guests, and season ticket holders. This scrimmage will give players a chance to show off their skills for the first time this season.
I mean, obviously last season was a little different, just not being able to see my parents and all the Trojan family in the stands. So it'll be really exciting to, be able to look up and see my mom and dad, little sister in the stands. I think it's also going to make the energy go up a lot higher too. Everybody performs different when, mom and dad is around. So,
I'm really pleased where my group is headed. Last year, we didn't have a true spring ball. We had one practice. We didn't really even have a true fall camp. So last year was all about us making sure we're prepared to play against someone else. Right now, we're doing everything possible from an offense and defensive point to get our particular players better.
Players are practicing in the Coliseum to get ready for Saturday's game. It will be the first time that USC's football players will play in front of fans at home since the 2019 season. Parents and fans are happy to be able to support the players in person.
Also for the boys, they put in so much work and so much time in the middle of a pandemic. So, they're quarantined. We're not able to see them. Just the normal little touch points that you would have were gone. So for them to be able to look up in the stands, and literally they were able to look up in the stands and be able to see their parents, was good for them emotionally. I'll be there. I know, all of my friends and parents that I know are going to be there to be able to support the boys and, support the Trojans.
I'd like to go back. I just don't want to go back with a mask. So, because it's all about the screaming and the yelling and the eating and the drinking and all that. So I'm not really, I'm excited. I'm really glad for the players and their energy to get back on the field. But as a fan, I'm not too sure I'm ready to go back if I have to wear protective gear.
With 16 returning starters, the nation's top recruit, and a handful of skilled transfers, expectations are high for the Trojans. The Spring Showcase kicks off at 1 p.m. this Saturday.
And just as sports fans are allowed back into stadiums, younger fans who are 16 years and older are now eligible to receive the COVID vaccine in California.
We are committed and resolved, despite the pause on the J&J vaccine, to fulfill our expectations, our collective expectation to more fully reopen the economy in the state of California by June 15th.
Because of the pause in distribution, USC students who plan to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will now be getting Pfizer. USC's Chief Health Officer says for the most part, students are okay with the change.
I feel like, people are not overreacting to this. I do worry that people may not be willing to get Johnson & Johnson in the future. The one thing I'm talking to people about is, in some ways, what this pause and the data also helps us know how incredibly safe the systems are around these vaccines. So this was something that happened in 6 out of 6 million people.
I was feeling a little bit neutral about it. I'd seen it in the news. The complications with the J&J vaccine, and initially I didn't really care which vaccine I got. Being able to finally get it safely and fairly quickly, I guess, especially compared to other countries, I was grateful to get vaccinated at all.
Of the 735 students registered to receive the J&J vaccine on campus today and tomorrow, about 50 students have canceled their appointments. ORMAN says some are concerned they won't be in LA to receive the second Pfizer dose.
Starting next week, LAUSD is resuming indoor sports and gym activities. Students will be able to practice and compete in basketball, wrestling, swimming, and volleyball while following strict health guidelines. Many high school athletes are excited to return to playing games.
Never had a season this year. It was canceled from the beginning. We were supposed to, if everything got better, by February start, but we never actually ended up starting. Every week I would go to a gym with my travel coach and we would work on stuff weekly. But like not having those games, I haven't played a game in over a year now. And that really sucks, especially since like last year is my first year and our program we're like not at the top. So I want to like help our program, make our program better.
The participation is one thing, but it's also like when you're an athlete, you kind of thrive on the exercise component and for your mental health and for your physical health. And, I think that part has really been hard to keep, the teenagers using their bodies and, exercising as much as they would be, in an organized sport.
Starting April 19th, gyms will be open at 10% capacity to players, coaches, referees, and up to 2 spectators per player. Fans will be seated on the opposite sides of the players' bench. Everyone must be masked at all times. Cheerleaders and band will not be allowed, and food will be prohibited. All players will be tested prior to games, in addition to weekly testing.
With LA stadiums opening back up, both athletes and fans are experiencing a boost to morale. We spoke with a psychiatrist about the impact sports can have on our mental health.
It plays a very, very significant and important role in our society in terms of obviously physical health, but mental health, both for people participating, either as professionals or amateurs, and for people, spectators. And hopefully it signals hope to people that, okay, we can go 25% capacity now. This thing is coming to an end. We can start living a normal life soon.
Yes, I love that. I'm not an athlete, but I personally love going to the gym. I feel like it's been able to keep me sane during this quarantine.
I completely agree with you, Taylor. Exercising and being able to just get outside has been definitely very beneficial for me too. Well, that's it for this Thursday. Thanks so much for watching.
From everyone at See It Live, have a great night.